And I want to move on to another link that made me laugh my ass off. And that is Liverpool being linked once again with Southampton's James Ward-Prowse. On the face of it, probably not the most ridiculous thing in the world, right? To see Liverpool linked with James Ward-Prowse. But when you consider that Southampton are looking for 50 million human pounds for James Ward-Prowse, you kind of scratch your head going, why? Why are we even interested? Now, the Daily Mail have said that Liverpool are willing to play the waiting game. Well, I hope we continue to wait and wait and wait and potentially wait until he retires, because I don't want James Ward-Prowse anywhere near Liverpool Football Club. I've nothing against the man. I'm sure he's a lovely fella and he's a decent footballer. But we don't need decent footballers right now. We need to make sure that we go and get the very best. And James Ward-Prowse, with all due respect, isn't that. Now, the report goes on to say that Liverpool would be tempted at about £25 million for Ward-Prowse. At £25 million, yes, does it become a bit more lucrative? Probably. But only because of the homegrown quota thing for me, and not because of actually thinking that James Ward-Prowse could come in and do a transformative job on our midfield. I don't for one second believe that he could. And also it's important to point out that he has no relegation clause in his Southampton contract, so keep that in mind when we're talking about him. Another one I wanted to bring to you guys, and this one comes with regards to another Southampton player, and that's Lavia. So reports today suggest that Liverpool don't want to be dragged into a bidding war for Lavia, and that while some talks have taken place with his representatives, Liverpool are playing the patient game because they don't want to get drawn into a bidding war. I don't know who this bidding war is going to be with, because I don't know who else is in for him, but I also don't know if he's good enough or not. And that's my honest answer on Lavia. I don't know. Whether it's 40 million or 50 million, I just truly cannot tell you whether I think this kid is good enough or not. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys in the chat to let me know. Do you think that we should be looking to raid the likes of Southampton for Lavia or James Ward-Prowse, or are there other players better suited? One player who'd been mentioned quite a bit was James Maddison. Now it looks like it's between Newcastle and Spurs for him, and Newcastle being the most likely. Can you blame him though, in all honesty? Can you blame him not wanting to go to Spurs? It's Spurs after all. There's some more talks scheduled, I believe, for Khéphren Thuram. Now, the more I read into this story, and again, I am just reading into it, I have no actual source of my own on this one with regards to details or anything, but it is believed that Liverpool are going to go back in, but Nice are starting to play a bit of a hardball. Now, I posed this question to you guys the other day. Do you think that because Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the owner of Nice and he's trying to buy Manchester United, that it would, you know, be in his interest, or I suppose make this a little bit difficult for Liverpool trying to sign Khéphren Thuram? That could well be the case. But I stand over what I said. I think a fee of about 35 will get the job done. 35 in pounds, meaning about 42, 43 million euro. That's the number that I keep getting told whenever his name comes up. That's the only information I can get, is that price. So I want to hand it over to you guys now and think, what do you believe? Who do you think Liverpool are looking at? And the final piece of this hypothetical jigsaw revolves around Federico Chiesa. So today I seen a report from Italy to say that lots of English clubs are interested. Manchester United, Liverpool, Newcastle, all being mentioned. But that Liverpool at the very top of the queue for Federico Chiesa. And I sat back and I thought about this for a while, and I asked myself, look, do we need to sign a forward? And the answer was probably no. We have a pretty well-stocked forward line and a pretty good conveyor belt of young players coming through. But sometimes it's not only just about that, right? It's about the right player at the right time, the right opportunity for the right price. And I think this could well be it with Federico Chiesa. 30, 35 million pounds would probably get him out of Juventus. He's told the club, according to reports in Italy, he wants to leave. And if Liverpool are indeed, according to, I think it was Corriere dello Sport or Tutto Sport, I can't remember which one it was, really pushing for the player, I hope that's the case. Because yes, we might not need another forward, but sometimes, as I said, right time, right place, right player. And I think Federico Chiesa under Jurgen Klopp could be something special. And if it didn't work out, then I think Liverpool could probably shift them down a season or two and get their money back, maybe even a little bit more. Now it's over to you guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think we need a forward? Or do you think it's just media nonsense? Who are your alternatives in midfield if Manu Koné isn't really somebody that Liverpool are convinced of? Because again, just to reiterate, if Liverpool wanted to get a deal done for Manu Koné, it's the easiest deal they could make. Look at it this way. Borussia Mönchengladbach need to sell financially. Liverpool have George Schmadtke, who worked previously there. And not only that, his son is now working as the sporting director. I think he worked with Borussia Mönchengladbach, George Schmadtke. I know he worked with Wolfsburg, but his son is certainly the sporting director now with Mönchengladbach. And if we wanted to get that deal done, I think it would be done by now. I think we would have went in early, paid the number, got the kid in, but I don't think he's Liverpool's top priority. So can I ask you guys something? I wanted to spend a couple of minutes debating Manu Koné, because fair to say there's been conflicting reports in the media over the past few days about Liverpool's interest in Manu Koné. And as I said earlier on in the video, George Schmadtke's son is the sporting director at Borussia Mönchengladbach. Borussia Mönchengladbach have known financial problems. Borussia Mönchengladbach have let it be known that Manu Koné is available. So this is where I start to wonder if we really are interested or not. This deal could have been done by now if we wanted it to be done. So what I wonder is he further down the list? Is he an alternative? I think he might be an alternative to Thuram. That's my thought process. If we can get Thuram, we've got McAllister, then I'd be intrigued to see what the next move is. Is the next move a Viega or an attacking type midfielder? It is interesting. And I'm starting to lean towards we're not really that serious about Koné. But it's just guesswork. I'd rather get Thuram and Viega instead of Koné, so Connor the Red. We're getting Koné. It's BS. I don't think it is, Jamie. I don't think it is. Now, I'm not saying we're not interested. Let me put it this way to you. Have you seen another report linking Liverpool to a holding midfielder? Yes, I know our name's going to be thrown around with Caicedo. I get that. That's been there for a while. But I haven't. If you look at Gravenberch, is he a 6? Is he an 8? I don't think we're in for a defensive midfielder, in my humble opinion. I think we're in for a holding, sitting midfielder who can get forward on occasion. So I think McAllister and Thuram make sense, and then you go, but see, Ugarte was one, but were we in for him? I don't know if we were actually in for Ugarte or not. Again, that was up for debate as well, because pretty quickly it became clear that we weren't willing to pay the €60 million release clause. Chelsea tried shenanigans, and PSG just came in and got the agreement pretty much done. But you're right, he was one player, but cold water was pouring on that Ugarte link very quickly from what I remember. Tapping up accusations ended a pursuit. But we don't need to tap him up. See, that's what I don't get either. You can speak to his agent and that doesn't break a single rule. So, where's the tapping up? I can't lie, being linked with Lavia and James Ward-Prowse is very underwhelming. It is, right? It is. And I'm with you on that, mate. Like, look, I'm not saying Lavia is not going to be good enough. I truly don't know. But I feel the very same as you do, Monkey Duffy LFC. It feels very underwhelming. It doesn't feel like this transformative window that we're kind of bigging up. And look, a bargain's a bargain. You know, I'm not saying we have to go and spend exorbitant, I had to get that word right in my head, exorbitant amounts of money. Because look, we proved with McAllister, £35 million, and he is the right player. So if those type of deals are available, I don't mind Liverpool not spending huge, as long as they're the right players. And I don't know enough about Lavia, or haven't seen enough of him to know that he is definitively the right type of player. And nor do I know for a fact that Liverpool want to bring in a DM. Because I mentioned this previously, I've never seen it written anywhere that a DM is definitely on the list of priorities for Liverpool in midfield. I've seen that we want 3 midfielders, all right. I've seen that in lots of places. But never once have any of those said we need 1 box-to-box, 1 attacker, or 1 defensive midfielder. So I wonder, are we even after a defensive midfielder? Because if we brought in McAllister, Thuram and Viega, that makes more sense to me in a window. You've got 2 young players there, 1 very athletic, big physical presence, 1 attack-minded, bright spark who knows where the goal is, and then you've got Alexis McAllister, who was an Irish World Cup winner, I'm not letting that drop, sorry, and an undoubted Premier League proven player, who, by the way, according to Darren Bent, he can't run. He can't, I mean, for fuck's sake. Where are we going now? I mean, I'm not sure about McAllister because he can't run. Shut up. He's well able to run. He ran his way to a World Cup winners' medal. He ran his way to Liverpool Football Club, and he ran that Brighton midfield. So I very much disagree with Mr. Bent on this one. He's very capable of running, sir. Right, moving on to speak about some other targets. Inacio Let's talk about Inacio for a minute, because he's apparently frozen transfer or contract negotiations with Sporting Lisbon, according to O Jogo, who I think are a Portuguese outlet. Gonçalo Inacio has frozen talks with Sporting because of Liverpool's interest. Liverpool and United have both been credited with being linked with him, say the Echo. This conflicts earlier reports which suggest that he's expected to commit his future to the club by signing a new contract. But here's the thing. Why would he sign a new contract? Because the only reason they're getting him to sign that new contract is so that they can move his €45 million release clause up to the €60 million release clause that Sporting want to put in there. So if I'm him, I'm doing exactly what he's doing. I'm saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's hang off and see how this window develops. Let's see if Liverpool or Manchester United or somebody comes in for me. And if they do come in for me, the fuck would I sign the new deal? He's there until 2026 currently, so they're still going to get the buyout clause of €45 million. But it makes no sense for him to sign it. If nobody came in or no concrete offers came in during this window, then maybe it makes sense. Sign it, get a new pay rise, and then go into next season and see what happens. But while you're waiting, I think he's doing the right thing. I take him, said Mr. Apple Crumble. Well, look, I think United's interest is in the kid from Napoli, and I think United want to get that done. But we know Manchester United's priority in this window is a centre forward, and that's, straightforward there. They need to get somebody in. So, again, I would say Liverpool can probably approach this one with a little bit of confidence if he's the player they want. And I don't know if he is. I've seen Jared Braithwaite mentioned. I've seen Colwill mentioned, even though Brighton have had a 40 million quid bid for him rejected.